Hello and welcome back for another clarinet tutorial from Nottingham Music Excellence. In this video I'm going to play the A2 piece from the Grade 3 clarinet book. It's called Study in Pink. It's an unaccompanied piece for clarinet by Sarah Watts. Hope you enjoy the tutorial. Here we go. Okay, so you've heard the music. Let's say a few words about the detail of the music and what you need to put in there to make it sound really awesome. So I think first and foremost, right, let's talk about 6/8 time. Now I always catch pupils out with this and it never surprises me how many times I catch them out. You know, I say how many beats are in a bar in 6/8 time, you know, and they kind of look at me and they're like, ooh. They're thinking, oh, this is a catch. This is a tricky question, this one, you know. And you usually get 3 or 6, or very rarely do you get 2. So basically, I think what I'm getting at is, you know, this is in 2 beats in a bar. It's in dotted crotchet time. And so you've got to, I think when you play this, you've got to really make sure that the listener can hear that it is in 6/8 time, that it is in dotted crotchet time. So you've got to play it in 2 and think in 2. And, you know, we want the music to come out the other end in 2 beats in a bar, and certainly not 6. So generally speaking, I think in these graded pieces like that are below grade 5, any piece of music that you play in 6, it will be in 6/8 time. It will be in 2 beats in a bar, not in 6. It will only be in 6 if the piece is a really slow piece of music, you know, and perhaps with a lot more detail in there, perhaps with, you know, semiquavers and demi-semiquavers and things like that. So 6/8 time, 2 beats in a bar. Okay, so, you know, you could do a bit of 6/8 rhythm practice, couldn't you? You could so even on that, just on that little rhythm that I've played there, you can hear where the dotted crotchet is. So I think make sure that you, and I think if you, as I've mentioned, if you think in 2 beats in a bar, I think it will automatically, you know, the beats will come out in your playing, and it will just sound like 2 beats in a bar, hopefully. So let's go over some of this detail. So straight away we've got quite a bit of articulation detail to work on. So you'll notice that some of the phrases are dee-ya-da, dee-ya-da. And in my opinion, it's one of these things where perhaps on that third quaver, that's the tongued quaver, perhaps you want to make, just to make it really neat, maybe play that as a staccato quaver, maybe just with nice short tonguing rather than sort of. You can create a bit more 6/8 bounce by just playing that third quaver just with a bit more shortness. Sounds a little bit lighter, doesn't it? Makes it sound a little bit more jolly. And that kind of follows through as we go through bar 5, 6, 7, 8. The tempo steps up a bit. And notice I played from quaver 6 there. I didn't play from quaver 1. Usually with this, certainly with this kind of piece, you get a quaver into the tune, you know, and your breathing points perhaps want to be a quaver before the bar, not just like on the bar line. So I just played bar 7 there, but with a quaver upbeat. And you'll notice we've got some accents here as well. So we want a bit of a punch on these notes. So use the tonguing. Use the tonguing to create a bit of a a ping on those notes and give it a bit more definition. I don't think it's a kind of an over-the-top accent. You know, I don't think we need a kind of a Bartok or a Stravinsky accent here. I think it's just something that's going to make the note a little bit more pointy. So tricky there. So bar 13, the marked piano, but still with the accents in there. So just careful how you grade that one. And then notice bar 15, we've got a crescendo and a decrescendo. It's the only bar that's marked on, actually. I think naturally a few of those bars will have that in there, really. So try and get a bit of that in there. And then let's talk about the phrasing in 17. So now we've got a few bars that have slur 2, tongue 4, and then slur 2, tongue 4. So just be careful how you're going to play that. I've done this with a couple of pupils now, and just that difference between the other bars, you know, has needed a bit of, shall we say, a bit of sorting out. And then we're back to slur 2, tongue 1. Pause note. How long are we going to pause on that note? I think just do it to your own discretion. I think I paused. I did a decent amount of pause on that. I quite like that sort of just holding back there. And notice after the pause note there is actually a new dynamic there. So da-dum, da-da-da-dum, and then just play those last two bars with a nice confident sound. I think also, as it's one of those pieces where you don't get any time off, it's a continuous play. Quite tricky that is to do in an exam. So I think mark on where you're going to breathe. Don't leave it to chance. And you'll have to, before you do the exam, make sure you keep running it from the beginning to the end and make sure that that breathing plan that you've marked on does actually work and you can do it. Don't leave the breathing to chance, because in the exam, when you get a bit nervous, the one thing, if you haven't planned that out, you'll start to get really uncomfortable in your lungs and your whole breathing. So make sure you mark it on there and have that one all planned out. And as I mentioned before, I think some of the breathing points will be a quaver before a bar, not sort of on the bar line. So again, just leading into bar 13 there. It just, some of the bars are going to sound a bit funny if you breathe on the bar line, I think. Like if I play... it just kind of doesn't work, you know, so you've got to have that quaver flowing into the next bar, so breathe before that quaver. On that bar, which was bar 16, there you've got a dotted crotchet, so perhaps that is a good place to breathe on the bar line. So figure it out and write it on, and just make sure, as I say, don't leave it to chance. So no accompaniment to this one, but I have recorded it with a metronome click at a slightly reduced tempo. So perhaps if you're in the early stage of this piece, have a go at playing with me now with the metronome and see if you can get it really in time with me and get through the piece without sort of it all falling apart. See if you can get through the breathing aspect of it at a slightly reduced tempo. So play along with me now and see if you can get it really accurate. Okay, so I think that's a wrap for studying pink. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and of course if you did and you watched the tutorial, make sure you click that like button and leave me a comment in that comment section below and let me know how you're getting on with grade 3. I'd love to hear from you. But best of luck for grade 3. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.